That was the pendet dance in Balinese. It means welcome, and that's a very apt welcome to all of you. Wow, these lights are so heavy. My name is Imelda Bacudo. Don't be confused, a lot of people call me Dada. I come from the ASEAN Climate Resilience Network family. Can we give them a big hand? They're over there, the family of the ASEAN. And so, yesterday I did an informal survey, and I understood that half of you are actually here to check out the famous rock bar in Ayana. But actually, if that's your purpose, I would like to remind you that this is the 5th Global Climate Smart Agriculture Conference with the theme, Transforming Food Systems Under a Changing Climate. So all clear? Those who are up to the rock bar, it's out there and can probably start drinking now. But this is the 5th Global CSA Workshop. And the event is being hosted by our friends from the government of Indonesia, Australia, the Netherlands, and of course the CGIAR CCAPS program, Climate Change, Agriculture, and Food Security. I know I'm not doing a great job of welcoming all of you, so I'm going to hand it over to Djufry later. But before that, I would like to remind you to please download the app. Have you done it? There's a special prize for those who have done it. Danush will gladly give all the gifts, right? There's some gifts. Let me just check that. And then if you notice, there are bamboo sticks on your chair. Please take care of that. That's not a gift for your loved ones. That's actually has a purpose. So hold on to it for now. So before I bungled more these welcoming remarks, the proper welcoming remark would come from the ASEAN CRN family member in Indonesia, which is our home in Indonesia, is the Indonesian Agency for Agriculture Research and Development, or IARD. And we have the Director General of IARD, Pak Djufry, to give us a proper welcome address. May I call on Pak Djufry? Dr. Fadjry Djufry.
Good morning, all participants. Selamat pagi, salam sejahtera bagi kita semua. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Dr. Andrew Campbell, CEO ASEAR, Dr. Bruce Campbell, Director CGI, Director Consultative Group of International Agriculture Research and Climate Change, Agriculture and Food Security, Mr. Marshall Panitnathan, Senior Policy Advisor, Dutch Ministry of Agriculture, Nature Food Quality, Dr. Anna Labuguerrero, Head Global Policy Research, Mr. Alistair Cox, Deputy Head of Mission, Australian Embassy, guest speaker, participant, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Fadjry Djufry. I am Director General of the Indonesian Agency for Agriculture Research and Development. Today, this morning, I'm speaking on behalf of the Minister of Agriculture, who is regretful cannot join today to this important event. It is a great pleasure for us to host this fifth Global Science Conference on Climate Smart Agriculture 2019. My understanding is that this is the first time the Climate Smart Agriculture Conference held in Asia. It happened now in this beautiful island of Bali. Bali, the last paradise in the world. So thank you for choosing Indonesia as the host country. Ladies and gentlemen, it is very timely that the fifth Global Science Conference on Climate Smart Agriculture has the theme transforming food system under changing climate. The theme implies that we should keep working on production phase, but we do not stop here. We also need to work in the harvest and post-harvest phase as well as its consumption phase. Let me start with the consumption phase. The good thing about inclusion of the consumption phase is that every single one in this meeting room and everyone, the human being, deal with food. I believe we will be eating again shortly and digesting and food even before that the food we had for breakfast and not been thoroughly digested yet. However, not everyone else deal with soil, with crop, let alone with mitigation greenhouse gas. Imagine if we can make change in the consumption phase, we can make significant achievement tremendously in terms of mitigation. We can do to be changing the behavior. Ladies and gentlemen, on the production side, the challenge is also high and growing. The weather becomes more and more difficult to predict on the intensity and frequency of the weather anomaly increasing. Climate change is reality, and we have seen how it has resulted in extreme climate event. Extreme climate event has been incarnate in two phenomena: extended and more intense dry period and short and high intensity rainfall. These two forms of climate extreme have positioned farmers in more vulnerable situation. Our challenge is how to produce science-based management strategies to increase farmer capacity to adapt the extreme climate and to increase the resilience of their agriculture system. We understand that farmers who produce food are facing many problems in their agricultural management practice due to uncertainty of the weather event. Therefore, we should provide farmers with tools that enable them to minimize the negative impact of the climate change. Weather prediction and early warning system will be very important in the changing climate. Also, soil management and conservation will increase to the resilience of agriculture to this unfavorable extreme condition. Ladies and gentlemen, there should be continuum of improved production system and wiser consumption behavior, production and yielding varieties of food crop and modern breed of livestock must be followed by the efficient consumption of the product. The other ways, more food are being produced, but more also being was due to unwise unplanned consumption. Hence, consumer behavior is important aspect that need further consideration since it will tremendously affect the amount of food that can be saved and in turn be redistributed to resource for societies. Ladies and gentlemen, we recognize that in addition to adaptation, to the benefit of adaptation, including mitigation, is very important. We need to make maximum effort that by increasing food production, we do not increase the amount of the greenhouse gas being emitted. Again, I assure that this conference will be able to propose strategies for improve production and consumption system with minimum negative environmental impact. Thank you for attention. Have you wonderful, fruitful comprehension. Bali, 8 October 2019, Minister of Agriculture, Andi Amran Sulaiman.
Thank you very much, Djufry. Thank you very much for the warm welcome and for sharing with us the realities that our Indonesian farmer friends are facing in the country. And so, as one of our co-hosts, I would like to call on His Excellency Alistair Cox from the Deputy Head of Mission of the Australian Embassy to deliver his opening sentence as well.
Well, thank you very much, Imelda, and terima kasih. Selamat datang, Om Swastiastu, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh kepada kita semua. Welcome to Bali. Dr. Fadjry Djufry, the Director General of the Indonesian Agency for Agricultural Research and Development of the Ministry of Agriculture of Indonesia. Dr. Bruce Campbell, the Director for Research on the Program for Climate Change, Agriculture and Food Security of CGIAR. Dr. Andrew Campbell, my good friend and colleague, the CEO of the Australian Centre of International Agricultural Research. Dr. Marcel van Nijnatten, the Senior Policy Advisor of the Netherlands Ministry of Agriculture, and distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and participants. It's a real honour for me to be here today at this, the 5th Global Conference on Climate Smart Agriculture. I was very excited to hear about this conference and the plans for it when I met Andrew Campbell. Andrew Campbell. There are two Campbells here. I get confused between Bruce and Andrew. But when I met Andrew Campbell in Canberra in March, and we discussed this conference and the plans for it. And so I'm really excited to be here today to see it come to fruition here in Bali and to see all of you. And I hear from the organisers that there are more than 420 participants. So thank you to all of you for coming to Bali and for participating in this really timely conference. Over the past decade, key issues relating to climate-smart agriculture have continued to evolve, and there's obviously increasing recognition that to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals, which I'm reliably advised is only 11 cropping seasons away in some countries, incremental actions will likely not be enough. We saw this reiterated very recently at the Global Climate Action Summit hosted by the United Nations, where there was much discussion on the need for transformative action in food systems. That summit, as many of you will know, highlighted that climate change is on track to warm the planet by at least 1.5 degrees Celsius before 2050 and beyond, even with sustained global action. And this is going to, as you all know, pose very significant challenges to agriculture, both from rising sea levels, more violent cyclones and other weather systems, and more frequent droughts. And we were discussing more flooding rains and intense rains and various system changes which are going to have very significant impact on agriculture. At the same time, according to the World Bank, global agricultural production will need to grow by an estimated 50% between 2013 and 2050 to meet the demands of a population that will grow to 10 billion people. In a carbon-constrained world, increases in agricultural efficiency will be required to ensure agricultural production is aligned with the goals of the Paris Agreement. This conference here over the next few days presents an opportunity for us all to come together and explore this further within the theme Transforming Food Systems under a Changing Climate. Within this overarching theme, 6 distinct sub-themes have been identified to guide discussion over the next few days. Firstly, the need to empower farmer and consumer organisations, women and youth. Collective action from farmers and consumers is the key, or a key, to driving transformational change in food systems. Second, promotion of digitally enabled climate-informed services. This focuses on provision of climate information through digital channels and partnering with the private sector for scale. Third, climate resilient and low emission practices and technologies. This theme focuses on technologies and practices which enhance resilience and enable farmers to implement low emissions development pathways. The fourth theme involves leveraging innovative finance for public and private sector investments. This focuses specifically on innovative financial mechanisms that can help scale up investment in climate-smart agriculture. The fifth theme explores the reshaping of supply chains, food retail marketing and procurement. This focuses on the from farm to fork concept, including new models for business-to-business coordination, as well as efforts to manage food loss and food waste. And the sixth and final theme seeks to identify and foster enabling policies and institutions. This will help consider the incentives, policies and institutions required to catalyse action. And I want to particularly congratulate the CGIAR research program on climate change, agriculture and food security for producing their latest working paper 271, Transforming Food Systems Under Climate Change, Local to Global Policy as a Catalyst for Change. And I brought it here, and I encourage all of you in the context of the conference to read that, because it brings together a lot of these themes very well and allows as a sort of a starting point for further discussion on how many of these issues can be further advanced and advocated and turned from idea to action. It's clear that we need to harness the expertise, creativity, networks and resources of a wide range of actors to deliver outcomes under these 6 themes that I mentioned. The Australian government knows that investing in agriculture offers great development opportunity. These call for new partnerships and approaches. Globally, more than 70% of people in extreme poverty live in rural areas and depend on agriculture for their livelihoods. World Bank analyses suggest that growth in the agricultural sector is 2 to 4 times more effective in lifting people out of poverty than comparable growth in other sectors. Productive, efficient, and market-orientated agriculture is thus a strong foundation for economic development. It provides employment, income, and reduces poverty. Realising economic opportunities, increasing productivity, addressing hunger, malnutrition, and climate pressure, and ensuring long-term global food security are priorities under the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and these are reflected in the Australian Government's Foreign Policy White Paper issued in 2017. We also need to harness the development potential of the private sector and consider the application of research and innovation in that context. Research that looks at the food system, not of tomorrow, but of 2050 to 2100, where we might see, hopefully, some stabilisation of climate due to the effects of the rapidly emerging green economy driven by consumers and industry. One of the problems that we face when preparing for this future is that there is no historical analogue for climate change. There is no static state of future change that allows accurate prediction to which we can fit a future farming system. Policymakers, regional planners and farmers need to know answers to questions such as, what are the best adaptation strategies required in the short to long term and long term? How do we best manage soils in ways that maximise their potential to act as carbon sinks? What are the flow-on implications to infrastructure, new investments, regional development, food security and trade? These complex challenges require innovative thinking from all of us, particularly from all of you here. Climate-smart agriculture gives us the potential to successfully adapt to these climate challenges and turn them into opportunities. Opportunities through higher agricultural productivity that can also boost farmer incomes, new agricultural products that can service new markets, greater food security for the most vulnerable, and better outcomes for women and children. I welcome the opportunity to discuss these critical issues and more over the next few days at this, the 5th Global Science Conference on Climate Smart Agriculture. Sekali lagi, terima kasih atas undangan dari Tuan Rumah Indonesia, and thank you very much to all of you for being here at this important conference this week. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Very content-laden. At some point, you reminded me of Greta Thunberg's call to action. Yeah, and at this point, we're going to have a ritual, an opening ritual, and I would like to call Pa Djufry back to the stage. This is called the Alu Lesung ceremony, which is alu and lesung are tools used by Indonesian traditional farmers to pound rice grains. So not yet, gentlemen. I'm gonna first they first need to understand what you guys are going to do. So you are going to conduct for us a long-time tradition done by multiple farmers, all together as a form of collaboration. So you get the idea, right? To really showcase the collaboration. So on the count of 1, 2, 3. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. They are so powerful, they pounded rice enough to feed one village.